السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Allama Ibn Hajar rahmallah cited the narration where Imam Shafi'i rahmallah narrates via Imam Malik rahmallah a narration which terminates with the words فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَأَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ. So Ibn Hajar rahmallah says فَهَذَا الْحَدِيثُ بِهَذَا اللَّفْظِ ظَنَّ قَوْمٌ أَنَّ الشَّافِعِيَّ تَفَرَّدَ بِهِ عَنْ مَالِكٍ. That some people assumed that Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah is the only one who narrated it from Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah with these words. So when he says ظَنَّ قَوْمٌ, who is he referring to? So when you go to his nukat, we find that he mentioned there فأشار البيهقي إلى أن الشافعية تفرد بهذا اللفظ. So it means that Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah is the one who claimed that Imam Shafi'i rahmallah is the only one narrating with these words. However, this here is not correct, because when we go to the exact words of Imam Bayhaqi rahimahullah, we find that he narrated this narration and thereafter he commented and said, وَرِوَايَةُ الْجَمَاعَةِ عَنْ مَالِكٍ عَلَى اللَّفْظِ الْأَوَّلِ. That the great group of students, when they narrated it from Imam Malik rahimahullah, then they narrated it with the first words, فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. Thereafter he says, وَقَدَ رَوَى مَالِكٌ هَذَا الْحَدِيثِ فِي الْمُوَطَّأِ عَلَى اللَّفْظِ الْأَوَّلِ. That even in the Muwatta, when Imam Malik rahmallah narrated it, then he narrated it with the words فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. So all those who took the Muwatta from Imam Malik rahimahullah, they narrated it with the same sanad, and they also used the words فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. For example, if you have to look Imam Muhammad rahimahullah in his Muwatta, he mentioned it. أخبرنا مالك قال حدثنا نافع وعبد الله بن دينار عن ابن عمر أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ذكر رمضان فقال لا تصوموا حتى تروا الهلال ولا تفطروا حتى تروه فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له. That's in his transmission of the Muwatta. Likewise, Imam Yahya al-Laythi in his transmission of the Muwatta, he says وحدثني عن مالك عن عبد الله بن دينار عن عبد الله بن عمر أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الشهر 29 فلا تصوموا حتى تروا الهلال ولا تفطروا حتى تروه فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له. Then even the same in the transmission of Al-Qa'nabi and Abu Mus'ab al-Zuhri rahmallah, etc. All the different narrations of the Muwatta, it comes with the words فقدروا له. So Ulama Ibn al-Hanbali rahmallah says لكونه في جميع الموطئات بذلك الإسناد بلفظ فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له. That in all the different versions and narrations of the Muwatta, but the same sanad, it comes with the words فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. And actually Ibn Hajar rahmallah also said this here. He said that فَإِنَّ الْحَدِيثَ الْمَذْكُورِ فِي جَمِيعِ الْمُوَطَّئَاتِ عَنْ مَالِكٍ بِهَذَا الْإِسْنَادِ بِلَفْظِ فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. So Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah makes this point that all of the students are narrating it with us. Likewise in the Muwatta, it's coming, whichever transmission or narration of the Muwatta you are looking at, it comes with this word. And then he mentions that after that, some scribes in their Muwatta, they wrote separately as a different narration, and they narrated it with a different sanad even, via Thawr bin Zayd al-Daili, an Abdullah ibn Abbas, that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam then mentioned it and said, فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَأَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ. So after mentioning this here, then Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah said, فَغَلَطَ الْكَاتِبُ فَدَخَلَ لَهُ بَعْض مَتْنِ الْحَدِيثِ الثَّانِي فِي الْإِسْنَادِ الْأَوَّلِ وَإِنْ كَانَتْ رِوَايَةُ الشَّافِعِي وَالْقَعْنَبِ مِنْ جِهَةِ الْبُخَارِ عَنْهُ مَحْفُوظَةً وَيَحْتَمِلُ أَنْ يَكُونَ مَالِكَ رَوَاهُ عَلَى اللَّفْظَيْنِ جَمِيعًا وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ. This is what Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah said. He's saying that the scribe, the one writing the Muwatta, he mistakenly joined the two. So that means it's a separate hadith. He took the words of that narration and put it here. And then he's even making an interpretation, and he's saying that if the narration of Imam Shafi'i, and take note here, then he's using the word and Ka'anabi. If it is mahfuz, then it's probable that Imam Malik rahmallah narrated it with both words. So in the statement of Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah, this here comes in a Sunan al-Kubra in the 4th volume on page 205. So where is it that he's claiming that Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah is the only one? He's actually first acknowledging the narration of Ka'anabi, which comes in Sahih al-Bukhari, which Ibn Hajar is speaking about here at the end of this paragraph. And he's emphatically saying that it is mahfuz, and we done the narration. He's saying that if it is mahfuz, then there is an interpretation for it. So the muhaqqiq of Qada al-Watr, Abu Hafs al-Yamani, Shari bin Muhammad al-Nu'man, he highlighted this here and he says that وَفِي نِسْبَةِ هَذَا إِلَى الْبَيْهَقِي نَظَرٌ, to attribute this and to say that Imam Bayhaqi is saying that Imam Shafi'i rahmallah was the only one who narrated it like this from Imam Malik would not be correct. فقد أورد رحمه الله طريق الكعنبي هذا في السنن الكبرى. He also narrated it via Alama Ka'anabi, and he's also giving an interpretation. So strangely enough, also here, Ibn Hajar rahmallah understood and even used this very same interpretation of Alama Bayhaqi rahmallah. In Fathul Bari, he quoted this interpretation, and in his Nukat, he himself from his own side, obviously taking it from Imam Bayhaqi, he said, وَدَلَّ هَذَا عَلَىٰ أَنَّ مَالِكًا رَوَاهُ عَنْ عَبْدِ اللَّهِ ibn دِينَارٍ بِاللَّفْظَيْنِ مَعًا. So you can see that here when he says فَذَنَّ قَوْمٌ, and in his Nukat is clearly attributing it to Imam Bayhaqi. That is not correct. Nevertheless, so he's saying that they assume that Imam Shafi'i rahmallah is the only one who narrated it with this فَعَدُّوهُ فِي غَرَائِبِهِ. They even considered it as a gharib narration from Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. ولأن أصحاب مالك رووه عنه بهذا الإسناد باللفظ فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له. If you have this print of Sheikh Nuruddin Itri, then on the dal you see he put a dhamma. But if you go through Mullah Liqari Shara and also through Laqt Durar, etc., it's written there بضم الدال وكسرها. So some would say that it's fine to read it with a dhamma on the dal, and also fine to read it with a kasra. But then others would say that the dhamma is actually incorrect. So therefore it's rather better for us to read it with a kasra, so that according to everybody it will be correct. فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. He's saying that all the students of Imam Malik rahimahullah with this exact same sanad, when they have narrated it from Imam Malik rahimahullah, then they use this word. They did not say فَأَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ. They said فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. So as we said that it's all those who narrated the Muwatta, they quoted it with these views. Then to quote a few random others who also narrated it with these words, even though they were not narrating the Muwatta, just to show you what a great amount of students there was. So Imam Tahawi rahimahullah, in his Sharh Mushkil al-Athar, he narrates there via Ibn Wahb rahimahullah. Ibn Wahb said that Imam Malik rahimahullah narrated it from Abdullah bin Dinar, from Abdullah bin Umar, and there it comes with the words فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. Likewise, Abu Bakr al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, in his Fawaid in Ghilaniyat, there too he also narrated it via Ma'an, who narrated it from Imam Malik with the words فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ, the exact same sanad. In Sharh al-Sunnah, Alama Baghawi rahimahullah, he narrated via Abu Mus'ab, who narrated it from Imam Malik rahimahullah, also with the words فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. And after that he said هَكَذَا رواه مَعًا بْنُ عِيسَى وَابْنُ Bukayr, that other students like Ma'an, just like from what we quoted from Abu Bakr al-Shafi'i, likewise Ibn Bukayr, they all narrated it the same way from Imam Malik like this. And Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah, he also narrates from another student with his sanad via Rawh bin Ubadah. He said that حدثنا مالك أن عبد الله بن دينار عن ابن عمر أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, and also فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له. So this here is just a few random students to show you what a great amount of students. So the point is that there are so many students of Imam Malik rahimahullah who narrated it with these words. And Imam Shafi'i rahmallah, it's maybe assumed that he is the only one who used the word فَأَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ. Now here also it depends on the meaning you are taking of the word فَقَدِرُوا, because it could, if you're using the word فَقَدِرُوا, it could have a total opposite meaning of أكمل, or it could have the same meaning. So if we go to that last paragraph of this page here on page 74, so where we are reading now, we go to this last paragraph. ولا اقتصار في هذه المتابعة سواء كانت تاما أو قاصرة على اللفظ بل لو جاءت بالمعنى كفى لكنها مختصة بكونها من رواية ذلك الصحابي. So you can, if you have to take it to have the same meaning, then it will not be that Imam Shafi'i rahmallah is contradicting the others. Rather, it would be that he is just narrating the same thing like all the other students of Imam Malik, and it is just a riwayabil ma'na. So this here, this meaning of فقدروا له, Mullah al-Qari rahmallah explained the meaning that فالمعنى قدروا له لأجل تحقيق إهلال رمضان عدد أيام, that فقدروا له, that just like I say فأكملوا العدة, that complete فقدروا له, that consider that there will be 30 days. So it has the exact same meaning. ثم صوموا لرمضان ولو لم تروا هلال حينئذ. So this here is the one meaning which you can take. And then from page 347 to page 350 of his commentary, Mullah al-Qari discusses whether you can take the view of astrologers and scientists and experts in moon sighting instead of physically sighting ourselves. And from there, then also you can derive the ruling on using modern methods and technology to determine the birth of the moon. However, if you're going to derail into all of that, then so much time is going to go. But it's just something which you can keep in mind if ever you have to answer a fatwa or if you have to write an article, then you can go to that page 347 to 350. Nevertheless, so this here is the one meaning of the word. And it's also a clear meaning. It's a haqiqi meaning of the word. And Imam Muhammad, rahimahullah, when he narrated it in his Muwatta, then this is the meaning he took when he said that وَبِهَذَا نَأْخُذْ وَهُوَ قَوْلُ أَبِي حَنِيفَةَ رَحِمَهُ اللَّهِ. He narrated this here with the words فَقْدِرُوا لَهُ, that you will complete 30 days in Sha'ban, and he's saying وَبِهَذَا نَأْخُذْ. So he's taking this as the meaning of فَقْدِرُوا لَهُ. And another proof to show that both words could have the same meaning is that Ibn Abdul Barr rahimahullah, he narrates from Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah with a sanad. So the sanad goes via Ismail bin Yahya al-Muzani, who's narrating from Imam Shafi'i. And in that it comes that, so this is in At-Tamheed, in volume 17 on page 79, that Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah narrated it. Also with the words فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ فَقَدِّرُوا لَهُ. So you can see it's Imam Muzani narrating from Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah. Yet in Fath al-Bari, Ibn Hajar rahimahullah agrees that it was transmitted with the words from Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah فَقَدِّرُوا لَهُ. But he claims that Alama al-Muzani rahimahullah narrated it with the words فَأَكْمِلُوا. So this is what he's mentioning here. He says وَتَفَقَّ الرُّوَاء عن مالك عن عبد الله بن دينار أيضا في على قول فقدروا له وكذلك رواه زعفراني وغيره عن الشافعي. You see that others have narrated it from Imam Shafi'i with the words فقدروا له. But when it comes to Alama Muzani, then he's saying وأخرجه الربيع بن سليمان والمزني عن الشافعي فقال فيه كما قاله البخاري هنا عن الكعنبي فإن غم عليكم فأكملوا العدة 30. So Ibn Hajar rahmallah is saying that Alama Muzani narrated from Imam Shafi'i with the words فأكملوا. Yet Ibn Abdul Barr is bringing a sanad which goes via Alama Muzani, in which he quotes the words فقدروا له. So this here shows that some of the some narrator, he understood that both words mean the same, and therefore he narrated it also with the words فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. And Alama Akram Sindi rahmallah in an-Naḍar, he says ولا يخفى أن رواية فقدروا له التي رواه أصحاب مالك موافقة لرواية الشافعي في المعنى. That it's not hidden, it's so apparent that the meaning فقدروا له, which all other students of Imam Malik, it's 100% conforms with the meaning of the word which Imam Shafi'i rahmallah used for akmilu. So he explained how the two words could have the same meaning, and thereafter he says فهذه الرواية التي رواه أصحاب مالك أيضا متابع لرواية الشافعي رحمه الله فكيف صارت علة لظن أن الشافعي تفرد به عن مالك وكيف عدوه في غرائبه. That if both words have the same meaning, then it doesn't make a difference, because riwayah bil ma'na, the preferred view is that riwayah bil ma'na is permissible. So if riwayah bil ma'na is permissible and Imam Shafi'i rahmallah narrated it riwayatan bil ma'na, then how can it be said that this here is a gharib narration from Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah? So this here is, if you're taking the word faqadiru lahu to mean the same like as fa'akmilu al-iddah. However, in his commentary of Sahih Muslim, Imam Nawawi rahmallah explained that there were scholars who took a different meaning, and that is the Hanbali scholars. That the Hanbalis, they took a different meaning for the word faqdiru lah. He says that وَاخْتَلَفَ الْعُلَمَاء في معنى فقدروا له وقالت طائفة من العلماء معناه ضيقوا له وقدروا تحت السحاب. And then he says وممن قال بهذا أحمد بن حنبل وغيره. So he's saying that they took the meaning of قدروا له as ضيقوا له, that make it 29 days. So the next day you must fast. So it's 100%, it contradicts the narration of فأكملوا العدة. So because they are taking that meaning, and thereafter he brings and he explains all the different meanings, and he says وذهب مالك والشافعي وأبو حنيفة وجمهور السلف والخلف إلى أن معناه قدروا له تمام العدد 30 يوما. That all the majority of scholars, they have taken the meaning of that قدروا له is that counted as 30 days. This is like how Ibn al-Athir rahmallah, he mentioned in an-Nihaya. You remember we spoke about an-Nihaya. I told you it's the best kitab to buy for gharib to understand these difficult words. So there, when explaining this here with absolute conviction, he says وفي حديث رؤية الهلال فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له أي قدروا له عدد الشهر حتى تكملوا 30 يوما. But then after he uses the word waqil and he says قدروا له منازل القمر. And now to understand how this, if you're taking the meaning of qaddiru la, like how Imam Ahmad rahmallah is taking it, actually it becomes a very technical thing. You will have to understand astronomy, you will have to understand how and remember again, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he was speaking this here, he was mentioning it to Bedouins and to Arabs who did not know so much about astronomy. So here he's using the word waqila to show that it's a weak view. And after quoting this here from an-Nihaya, Allama Akram Sindi rahmallah said, لكن هذا الاحتمال باطل لمخالفة الإجماع على عدم الاعتماد بقول المنجمين. And then he brings proofs from Quran and Ḥadīth also. But nevertheless, since there were Hanbali scholars who took the second meaning and assumed that both words have different meanings, Imam Tahawi rahmallah had to explain it in his Sharh Mushkil al-Athar. He brought a whole chapter there, باب بيان مشكل ما روي عن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من قوله في الهلال فإن غم عليكم فقدروا له. And you can go there and understand how in-depth it is to understand how the moon works, etc. If you are taking the meaning as فقدروا له to mean 29 days. So some scholars assume that Imam Shafi'i rahmallah is the only one who is narrating it like this here. But Ibn Hajar rahmallah says لكن وجدنا للشافعي متابعا وهو عبد الله بن مسلمة الكعنبي كذلك أخرجه البخاري عنه عن مالك وهذه متابعة تامة. He's saying that we have found support that there is someone else who is narrating from the exact same teacher. So in this case, Abdullah bin Maslama al-Ka'anabi is narrating from Imam Malik. So this here is a mutaba'at tamma, because you thought that Imam Shafi is the only student, and therefore you are trying to look for other students, and then you found Abdullah bin Maslam al-Ka'anabi narrating it from Imam Malik. So it becomes a mutaba'at tamma. And it provides strength. You will understand that from there that Imam Shafi'i rahmallah is not making a mistake when he used the word فَأَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ 30. So Abdullah bin Maslama is the support for Imam Shafi'i rahmallah, and he's actually quite strong support that كان ابن معين وابن المديني لا يقدمان عليه في الموطأ. That in the transmission of the Muwatta, they would prefer his narration of the Muwatta. But interestingly, when he narrated it in the Muwatta, then he narrated it with the word as فَقَدِرُوا لَهُ. But Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, and therefore they're saying, Imam Bayhaqi rahimahullah said, and then Ibn Hajar, you remember we are quoting, that they're saying that Imam Malik rahimahullah rather say that he mentioned it with both wordings. So taking the same meaning, it's actually from Imam Malik where you got the two different meanings, because Imam Bukhari rahimahullah is the one who is quoting the mutaba'ah of Abdullah bin Maslama al-Ka'anabi. So he says كذلك أخرجه البخاري عنه عن مالك وهذه متابعة تامة. So Imam Bukhari rahmallah narrated it. He said حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلم قال حدثنا مالك عن عبد الله بن دينار عن عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الشهر 29 ليلة فلا تصوموا حتى تروه وإن غم عليكم فأكملوا العدة 30. This is how Imam Bukhari rahmallah is narrated it. Now looking at this narration, since it comes in Sahih al-Bukhari, Ibn Hajar rahmallah commented, and he says in his nukat, He said, فَهَذِهِ مُتَابَعَةٌ تَامَّةٌ فِي غَايَةِ الصِّحَّةِ. That this here is so authentic. Look at the sanad. That Abdullah bin Muslim al-Qanabi, I told you what a great scholar he is. Obviously, Imam Malik, you know what the Imam he was. Abdullah bin Dinar and then Abdullah bin Umar. Such a authentic sanad. And he's saying that it's such a great mutaba'a for Imam Shafi'i. Now he blames Imam, because he misunderstood what Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah said. So now he blames Imam Bayhaqi and says, well, عَجَبُ كَيْفَ أَخَفِيَتْ عَلَيْهِ. It's so surprising how did Imam Bayhaqi miss this here? How come he didn't know about this narration which comes in Sahih al-Bukhari? However, to that we replied that had Ibn Hajar rahmallah paid attention to the text of Imam Bayhaqi, so we have to say this here to defend Imam Bayhaqi. So had Ibn Hajar rahmallah paid attention to the text of Imam Bayhaqi, he would have found that Imam Bayhaqi rahmallah clearly said, وَإِن كَانَتْ رِوَايَةُ الشَّافِعِي وَالْقَعْنَبِ مِنْ جِهَةِ الْبُخَارِ عَنْهُ مَحْفُوظًا. So he admitted and he clearly knew of the narration of Qanabi and even knew that it comes in Sahih al-Bukhari. He even said it means Jihat al-Bukhari anhu. So we tell Ibn Hajar that ma khafiyat alayhi, it was not hidden from him. So this here was a mutaba'at al-tamma which Ibn Hajar rahmallah presented. Now he presents another متابعة القاصرة. So he says ووجدنا له أيضا متابعة قاصرة في صحيح ابن خزيمة من رواية عاصم بن محمد عن أبيه محمد بن زيد عن جده عبد الله بن عمر بلفظ فكملوا 30. So now can you see the sanad here? That it comes in Sahih Alama ibn Khuzaymah rahmallah, he has narrated it from Muhammad bin Walid, who narrated from Marwan bin Muawiyah, who narrated from Ibn Fudayl. Then Ibn Hajar then quotes from Asim bin Muhammad al-Umari, who narrates from his father, who narrates from Ibn Umar. So the point here, why been mentioning the whole sanad, is to see that the Sahabi is only the same and the rest of the sanad is differing. So as long as the Sahabi is Ibn Hajar rahmallah is still considering it as a mutaba'atul qasira. So this here is the one point. Another point to note here also from this whole narration of Sahih ibn Khuzaymah, the exact wording in Sahih ibn Khuzaymah comes like this here. That so it comes with the whole sanad which we quoted. قال Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam الشهر هكذا وهكذا وهكذا 30 وشهر هكذا وهكذا وهكذا كذا. And thereafter Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said فإن غم عليكم فكملوا 30. So you can see the wording completely differs, but yet because it's conveying the same meaning, so therefore the narration of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, if you have to take the word there of فأكملوا العدة 30 to be in the same meaning of the word فإن غم عليكم, then Imam Shafi'i's narration is actually a mutaba'a, and all the narrations of is a mutaba'a for the narrations of all other students, and the narrations of all the words فقدروا له, their narrations are mutaba'at for Imam Shafi'i because the words don't have to be the same. It's still been called a mutaba'a. So this is the one, and thereafter he gives another example and he says that وفي صحيح مسلم من رواية عبيد الله بن عمر عن نافع عن ابن عمر بلفظ فقدروا له. So this here is a mutaba'atul qasira. And Imam so this narration of Sahih Muslim, Imam Muslim rahmallah says وحدثني زهير بن حرب قال حدثنا إسماعيل عن أيوب عن نافع عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنه, and he narrated. Also, yeah, the words come إنما الشهر لا تصوموا حتى تروه ولا تفطروا حتى يكم فقدروا له. So the point to show you there is that other students have also narrated it, and this here becomes a mutaba'atul qasira. Now, just to show you how that the scholars would use the word qasira, the word naqisa also for qasira. So after mentioning these exact same two examples in his nukat, Ibn Hajar rahmallah then said that فَهَذِهِ مُتَابَعَةٌ أَيْضًا لَكِنَّهَا نَاقِصَةٌ. So you can see they would use the word naqisa also in the meaning of a qasira. Then Ibn Hajar rahmallah says وَلَقَدْ اتصار في هذه المتابعة سواء كانت تامة أم قاصرة على اللفظ. That it doesn't have to have the exact same wording. That's the point which you are trying to show when saying there's no difference between the narration of Imam Shafi'i with the other students, that it doesn't have to have the same exact same words. بل لو جاءت بالمعنى كفى. So in some prints it comes kafa, and in some prints it comes kafat, like as a feminine. So if it has to have the same meaning, then that will suffice. لكنها مختصة بكونها من رواية ذلك الصحابي. The main thing is that it has to be narrated from the exact same Sahabi. So here, when he's saying that it's essential that it is narrated from the exact same Sahabi, even though the wording differs, then he's actually objecting on Ibn Salah rahimahullah. Because Alama Ibn Salah rahimahullah, he said, فَإِن لَمْ يروى ذلك الحديث أصلا من وجه من الوجوه المذكورة لكن روي حديث آخر بمعناه فذلك الشاهد من غير متابعة. You can see he's saying that if it has similar meaning, different words but the exact same meaning, then it will be called a shahid. It's not going to be called a mutaba'ah. So Ibn Hajar rahmallah is trying to show that as long that even if the Sahabi is the same, then even if the words differ, it definitely it has to be called as it will be called a mutaba'ah. So here now you can see that the difference of mutaba'ah and shahid according to Ibn Salah rahimahullah is based on whether the meaning is the same or not. So when Abdul Haq Dahlawi rahimahullah, when he mentioned that وَبَعْضُهُمْ يَخُصُّونَ الْمُتَابَعَ بِالْمُوَافَقَةِ فِي اللَّفْظِ وَالشَّاهِدِ فِي الْمَعْنَى سواء كان من صحابي واحد أو من صحابيين in his مقدمة في أصول الحديث, then he was referring to Ibn Salah rahimahullah. He didn't take the name of Ibn Salah rahimahullah. And likewise, Shaykh Nuruddin Itr rahimahullah also, he also did not take the name of Ibn Salah rahimahullah in his Manhaj al-Naqd fi Ulum al-Hadith. He just said وَفَرَّقَ قَوْمٌ بين التابع والشاهد فخص التابع بالموافقة على رواية لفظ الحديث عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سواء كان من رواية ذلك الصحابي أو غيره وخص الشاهد بالموافقة في المعنى كذلك. So they are making it that if it's narrated with the exact same words, then it's mutaba'ah. And if it is narrated with different words but the same meaning, then it's a shahid. But Ibn Hajar rahimahullah is not considering whether the words are the same or not. As long as the meaning is the same, he is looking at it that the Sahabi must be the same. So he's saying that if the Sahabi is the same, then it will be called a mutaba'ah. And if a Sahabi differs, even if you have a different Sahabi narrating with the exact same words, then because the Sahabi is different, we'll call it as a shahid. But the others, Ibn Salah rahimahullah, they will say the Sahabi is different, that's fine. But the exact same words are used and so now from here, the point which you're trying to emphasize, that if you have to look at those words, فَقَدِرُوا, take it in the same meaning of أَكْمِلُ, then there is no difference between the narration of Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah and all other students of Imam Malik rahimahullah. Rather, the narration of Imam Shafi'i will be a mutaba'ah for their narrations. So now Ibn Hajar rahimahullah mentions it here, and if you look on the next page, then he emphasizes it there about 4 paragraphs later. He says, وخص قوم المتابعة بما حصل باللفظ سواء كان من رواية ذلك الصحابي أم لا والشاهد بما حصل بالمعنى كذلك. So he emphasizes it there, and this is the point which he is trying to make. So to explain shahid now, he says that وإن وجد متن يروى من حديث صحابي آخر يشبه في اللفظ والمعنى أو في المعنى فقط فهو الشاهد. This is how he defines the word shahid. So if you look here in the footnote, Shaykh Nuruddin Itr explains shahid according to this, that الشاهد هو الحديث يوافق حديثا آخر في اللفظ أو المعنى من رواية صحابي آخر. The main thing is that it has to be from another sahabi. That's a point which we are highlighting. So Alama Sakhawi rahmallah claimed that this definition which Ibn Hajar is giving here is the definition of Jumhur, the vast majority of scholars. And Alama Laqani rahmallah, he says, وَهَذَا الَّذِي جَزَمَ بِهِ الْمُصَنِّفْ هُنَا عَزَاهُ بَعْضَ تَلَامِذَتِهِ لِلْجُمْهُر. It means Alama Sakhawi attributed it to Jumhur. وَتَوَارَدَتْ كَلِمَةُ أَتْبَاعِ الْمُصَنِّفْ عَلَى اخْتِيَارِهِ. That after Ibn Hajar mentioned this definition here in his Nuzha, then this year became the more popular definition for the word shahid, وَرُدَّ طَرِيقُ ibn Salah. And the definition of Ibn Salah rahimahullah, which we just quoted, that was now no more acknowledged. In Ibrahim Allahim, he says, وَلَا يَكَادُ يَخْرُجُ عَنْ هَذَا أَحَدٍ, that there's almost no one now who gives a different meaning. So inshallah we will stop here. I was hoping to finish today till the end of Al-I'tibar also, so that the exams could be till there. I thought we could go for 1 hour, but then I'm actually getting some guests now, and actually quite an honored guest, Maulana Ilyas Patel Hafidhullah, is coming for supper, so they're having supper now after Asr, and therefore we'll have to stop now. And then the next part inshallah we'll continue from وَمِثَالُهُ فِي الْحَدِيثِ الَّذِي قَدَّمْنَا inshallah. So until whenever we continue the kitab again, whenever Allah Ta'ala makes it easy next year, inshallah, then we'll continue with the example. Until then, Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.